I needed was a modifier, is that right? Too soft? Right, it was too soft.
Yeah. There's Benny Hansen, president of the Swedish Weightlifting Federation, next to Per Maddingstad, president of the Norwegian, and also head of the technical committee, vice president of the European Weightlifting Federation.
And a Milo author to boot.
So, Cheremai now coming on for 188, which is what was intended. It means the Polish lifter will have let the bar go up and will come out for his last attempt. Don't quite understand what's happening on the scoreboard at the moment. Now that could be a bit costly.
You know, I know he's not hitting the weights in the clean and jerk that he'd hoped to, but I got to commend this guy for being aggressive and going after these weights. I mean, he's not holding back anything, jumping in on these weights that are just stacking him. You know?
Yeah, but last year's European bronze medalist in real trouble now because that's two failures.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. But it's not because he's quitting or throwing in the towel. He's throwing his body against his bar and just not quite winning the duel yet.
Interesting, though, you know, he posted 185. He's come out at 188.
Yeah.
Were they a little bit over-ambitious for the starter?
Yeah, you know what? It's probably that close, David, that if he'd stuck with the 185, maybe he'd have a successful lift up there. Yeah. Easy for us to say, you know, maybe something changed along the way. Maybe the last warm-up looked good, but suddenly hit the wall. Is, you know, right at that balancing point where can he make it, or is it a little too heavy?
So, just to bring you up to date with where we are, it's Arek Mirzoyan who's finished his lifting on 347. Semi Yachi of Turkey, 343. Alexander Roșu, Romania, 340. And still Agassian to start for Armenia. And he makes it. He puts himself in the competition. If he doesn't, I'm afraid it's no total. Really, now you saw how he rocked back, got thrown back with the bar there, Randy, and that was his undoing.
Yeah, I think it's heavy for him. You know, sometimes the coach will say, oh, well, he did this or he did this, and another coach will come, it was just too expletive, deleted, heavy.
You know, maybe you get a little wrapped up in the heat of the moment, you look at the competition, you start to believe ahead of yourself.
Yeah, in terms of moving up from that initial, I think you could well be right on that.
So this is the Romanian who now finds himself in a very interesting position. This is 4 kilos up, and this is to go into the overall lead. What an important opportunity to fail at.
How do you like that? This is the guy that one attempt earlier, I go, wow, I really admire the focus. You know, this guy's not rattled. And what happens as a brain failure here? Short circuits on this. Or as a guy, you know, says he got confused and suddenly he thought he was in a powerlifting contest because he only deadlifted it. Anyway, what happened was he did not finish the lift. But all kidding aside, it is tough psychologically to pull your body under a weight that heavy, and it's much easier to go, I'm going to bail.
Interestingly, if you go back to last year's World Championships in September, and this is Tkac going for glory. 6 kilos to take him to 341. 341 will put him ahead of Roșu and into the overall bronze medal position. And of course, in terms of the clean and jerk, it would put him into the gold medal position. Tkac, Slovakia, 20 seconds. gets there. Oh,
Well, there's a missed squat jerk. And we'll see in slow motion, you'll be able to visualize why it's so easy to miss
and
this
you know what the
squat.
game plan there was? He waited as long as he could to use that one final attempt to try and put himself into a medal winning position. He couldn't wait any longer. He had to go at 189.
Double bounce to stand up the clean. He's got to do some work here. He's going to drive and then race down into a full squat position. Getting some air, getting set, driving, sinking. Yeah, we didn't get to see it, but believe it or not, you could see from his eyes the way he rolled his eyes. Whew, man.
Just want to bring up one thing which is really important. I mentioned it a couple of times, Randy. Agassi Agassian of Armenia with a 190 start. So we've not yet seen him. And remember, it's his teammate, Mirzoyan, who's still clinging on to the lead. Now Svaric is the next man to come out. And of course, Svaric, the last time we saw him, it looked as if he was going to get a 188. He didn't get a 188. The bar's gone to 189. And so this will be a 7 kilo increase. And that will take him up to 342, which again will put him into overall medals and clean and jerk meet.
Got a change here. Looks like maybe Rosu coming out.
Yeah. Rosu.
Yep.
Now, this would make it even harder for Svaric now, because if Rosu gets this, he virtually closes the door on Svaric's chance to get into the overall medals. But can he do it? 189, 4 kilo increase to go 344. And you sort of had a feeling, and the 189, Randy, I was going to say earlier on, in the World Championships on Antalya, 188 was what he did. That was a personal best. More recently, in the under 23s, he did 181, but he wasn't under such pressure at that point.
Listen to this. It's Agassi coming out for his opener, 190.
Yeah, and now, just to put this into context, he's starting 7 kilos behind his teammate. That's the differential between them at the halfway stage.
Clean and jerk, though, it gives the long ball hitter an opportunity to close a gap like that.
So, the under-23 champion in the wings and weighting, the under-23 silver medalist challenging. Oh, hard clean. Oh.
Okay, I mentioned you can adjust the bar, move it around a little bit, get a favorable position on the jerk, but if you actually dip, that's considered the attempted jerk, and he dipped, he wasn't just repositioning, that's why he got red lighted. The buzzer meant dump the bar, the lift is over. Very costly because it was a tough weight, you could tell. It was his opener, right, and he missed it.
And the man I'm keen to keep an eye on here is the Turkish lifter who looked very good on his second attempt, Semih Yachi, who's just waiting to see what he has to do. As Randy said there, you can see that was more than a minor adjustment. That was a definite attempt, and that's why he was red lighted.
Well, he started the attempt and then he choked.
Yeah. And just to emphasize what I was saying, Semih Yagci of Turkey, sitting in second place, one attempt to go, 3:43. He's lighter than Mirzoyan. He needs 4 kilos to level up and take the championship by lighter body weight. And what he's basically doing is watching everybody else and will react. So if this guy bombs out on this second attempt, Yagci just stays there waiting to do those 4 kilos, or trying.
This guy's in a tough position. Missed a heavy opener, falling himself, coming back.
Armenia versus Armenia once again. Twenty seconds.
Boy, they're going to question that weight selection.
This is just not right. This is really not reacting to circumstance, and also not reacting to the condition of their own lifter.
Yeah, you know, the other thing is, if they're going to gamble, this is the time and the place to do it. It's not later this year in Paris when it's team points that will decide your allocation for the Olympics. Maybe they're giving these two youngsters a dry run. What can you do in a pressure situation? How are you going to perform?
Well, that's all very well and good, but you know, a championship is a championship. Support in pretty well every country is financial, comes through ranking, particularly in the elite squad. At the moment, he's now in serious danger of not getting a ranking. I would say that's a serious misjudgment.
Yeah.
It's one thing to try out and test. It's another thing to make a big error.
Well, you know, the trial and test part everyone accepts. It's when you have the failure when you've tried and tested that
now,
things get difficult.
Svaric, 190. So this is an 8 kilo increase to take him to 343, which would put him up into the bronze medal position.
I don't know. I mean, he reacted as if it was a hamstring after he let go, but I think that was more, you know, cognitive dysfunction than physical. I think his brain shut down.
Where we are, Randy, is right here. Agassian has failed 2 at 190, and there is only his one attempt, and also Yagci who's got one attempt to come.
Yeah, we've had a complete shift to balance here from the snatches where almost nobody missed a lift, and now we're running a big string of missed clean and jerks. Can this guy break that pattern?
Well, you see, if he does this, he puts himself onto the podium.
Yep.
And he also obviously goes to the gold in the clean and jerk. So this is one of those all or nothing occasions. He makes it, there are rewards. He doesn't get a total. Nothing in terms of medals in the first half in the snatch. And I'm afraid, Randy,
it's a goose egg.
Yeah, it is absolutely that. And now it is down to the Turkish lifter, who has one attempt to take the championship away from Armenia.
Well, this is what we said could happen. Could be close, could come down to the last clean and jerk, a come from behind effort.
So, Semih Yagci, he's won the gold medal in the clean and jerk. He's won that with 188, bar to 192. He currently stands in second place on 343. He makes it, he takes this championship by virtue of lighter body weight, and he wins this championship for Turkey.
And would pocket 100,000 euros, right?
Exactly.
From the Turkish Weightlifting Federation.
6 years since they last won this one, and that was Tanazar. Half a minute to win it. Great clean. big moments. Big moments. Is it there? 3 white lights.
I'll tell you, he made that clean look so easy. I was wondering, was this guy sandbagging it all night?
And that is the 77 kilo championship of Europe.
And the €100,000 lift.
So the bronze medalist in the under 23, the 2 Armenians who he was up against tonight, beat him in November. They occupied first and second place, but converting from under 23s to seniors, and Turkey come up trumps.
Oh, yeah. Great way to end. Just what we hoped for. Some misses in the clean and jerks, but this night lived up to our expectations. How close their spread ended up being? Top 3.
And that really is a terrific performance by him.
Pulls, gets under, racks the bar, elbows up high, dip, drive. Boom.
And that is 5 successful attempts out of 6. There's the reward. Great tactics by the Turkish coaching team as well. They read this one.
And he executed according to plan. They had the tactics, the strategy, the tactics, and he had the execution. They made it all come together. So where'd we end up on the totals for the top 3?
Totals for the top 3, 347 for Yashi of Turkey. That compares with 360, which Marty Rossian chalked up last year.
But the top 3, how close together are we?
Body weight separating gold and silver.
Close as can be.
Roshu in the bronze medal position for Romania, 7 kilos off the pace.
Well, okay, well, we'll split that, but pretty close to what we called. Tight race.
Yeah, tight race, and just looking at that total, well, Marty Rossian, very good athlete for Armenia. He's definitely their number 1 in this class. He did 360, but if you go back to Charniak in 2009, 344.
There's a big lively discussion going on over in the area of the jury table, and the Armenian coach, I think, is protesting that lift quite animatedly. And I think if I can read sign language, I think he's saying that the lift should have been turned down. Look at this.
Well, there's an interesting situation.
Oh, the jury is standing up. They're standing up.
Well, there was an issue here because this is like a football situation. As you see the result, here, what I can tell you is that officially the coaches are not allowed to approach the jury table.
They're not only approaching, I think they're saying in sign language, what are you, blind?
Yeah, and I can hear Marino Casadei, the General Secretary of the European Federation, advising the jury to report their behavior to the Executive Board of the European Federation. This is unacceptable behavior. It is against the rules. Well, the Armenians can complain as much as they like, but this is not going to get overturned, Randy.
No, we've got 2 members of the jury who are being absolutely stoic. One who's risen to his feet on more than 1 occasion, and we're 1 step below a shouting match on the other side of the table.
1 second looking in the watch.
Paramedic stall looking cool, calm, and collected. Benny Johansson just looking as if he's waiting in line for something.
Yeah, and there is the confirmation, 347, and he gets it by body weight. Just a quick reflection. Were you happy with the Turkish lift, Randy?
You know what I'd say, if in doubt, you give it to the lifter. The only thing I would say is, I wasn't sure his legs were fully straightened out, and I was watching for that in the replay. Not the shuffling in the bar was under control, but I didn't know if his knees were unlocked. And of course, you know, the Armenians, if there's any opening, it is their duty to question the lift.
This discussion is going to go on for